when we talk about sponsoring, as Superstars team, we've been leading over the years. We've always been ranked as top in sponsoring in East Africa, in Your Life world. And we want to triple that. We want to do better than we've done before. And maybe let me start by asking us, why is prospecting and inviting so important? That takes us to the daily success habits. You know, we are asked to use the product, share the products, share the opportunity, and train. Now, 80% of all you do in this business should be sponsoring. Why? Think about how far do you go as an individual? Even if you are very good in selling products, even if you're very, very good in moving the products, how far do you go? Let me give you the answer. The highest you can go is director. Without sponsoring, you'll never, ever become a Sapphire director and above. So 80% of your work should be sponsoring. And if you ask me, sponsoring simply means do massive prospecting and inviting. The rest will come into place. If you do the very first skill very well of prospecting and inviting, the rest will fall into place. Now, when you think of prospecting, what would we say prospecting is? If you allow me, I will do a very simple presentation here. And we will say that prospecting is that process. It's not an act, it's a process of identifying and establishing relationships with potential prospects. That is what I would call prospecting. That process of identifying and establishing relationship with potential prospects. So the question will be, how do you identify potential prospects and how do you connect with them so well that you are able to influence them to be parts of your business? That's what we want to talk about. Now, the next thing that we'll be talking about is that we have warm market. That is the people you are meeting for the very first, or your friends, the people that you know very well. And we also have people that you are meeting on daily basis as you live your life. That is cold market. And what we'll be discussing here applies for both the warm market, your friends, and the cold market, the people you meet on daily basis. Now, sometimes we rush to, asking, how do we get to talk to strangers? But then we've not even talked to the friends that we already have. So before you think of the second one here, cold markets, the strangers, you need to approach your friends very, very, very well. Don't talk so much. Don't tell them stuff that perhaps will put them off. And we'll be looking at some of the wordings that you use so that you can attract your own friends and the ones you use when you meet strangers out there. So very important. But in a nutshell, when you join the business, we ask you immediately to start writing down your friends from your phone book to your notebook, or what we call name list. And you write everyone who is alive, everyone who is breathing. Don't prejudge so much. In as much as there are some people that you might have to disqualify if they are negative and the like, at the very beginning, don't be quick to disqualify. Write everyone down and then start inviting them using the approaches that we'll be looking at here. So there are simple steps that you can follow to effectively prospect. And the first step We may not talk about everything that we have here, but the very first step that you need to always remember when you are prospecting people, don't show them like you have all the time. You need to be in a hurry. Please mark these ones. You are not presenting at this juncture. You're just prospecting. You're just connecting with them so that you can now invite them to a meeting, whether a one-on-one where you sit down with them or a business meeting in our venues. Whichever case, at this point, you're just prospecting. So be in a hurry. If you're not in a hurry, you'll find yourself talking so much and confusing them, and there will be no need then to invite them for another meeting. So be in a hurry. Let them even know that you are a busy person. You don't have all the time with you. The reason for being in a hurry is so that you don't give so much information than you should. Actually, if, for example, you are traveling in a matatu with someone, you don't prospect them from the very beginning. Don't tell them about an opportunity from the very beginning. That comes towards the end so that you leave them wanting to come and learn more. Initially, you can only talk general stuff to connect and bond and become friends. So for one market prospects, the people you already know, you could use some of these scripts here. I don't have a lot of time now to really talk, but it was really important that I reach out to you. So you've just opened a conversation with that. Or I know you are busy at the moment, but I just wanted to catch up with you briefly. Now for cold markets, people that you've not connected before, you've just met. You could use something similar to that, but not exactly. Now isn't the time to get into this, and I have to go, but I would love to, then now you can mention something to prospect them. Here you are just trying to connect with them. But then the second step will be to compliment people. And this is the most powerful way of attracting others. Actually, from experience, this step 2, in most cases, will come as the very first step, step 1. I'm so much used to doing this in lifts. When I'm getting into a lift, most likely you will not be the only one getting into that lift because it's not yours anyway, it's a public thing. But I get to the lift, and the first thing I'll do is to compliment whoever I am with in the lift. Complimenting is just finding something that you can genuinely talk about, a positive thing about that person. For example, if it's a gentleman like myself, and they're in a very nice suit, honestly, they'll feel so good when you tell them, wow, I love your suit. You know, but then be honest. If you are trying to use compliment and it's not a sincere one, they will know that you are trying to get something from them. They will actually think so. If it's a lady and you are a man, you have to be careful on the compliment that you are using. Right? So basically what we are saying is find something to compliment the person you've met. And it has to also be immediate. Don't be so quiet. Then much later is when you are complimenting. Now let's look at some of these scripts here for complimenting. There are very many, we cannot exhaust them. You've been widely successful. And I have always respected the way you've done business. So you are appreciating someone, perhaps someone who is even very successful. I have had people asking me, how do I prospect my boss? This is the answer. If you went with this opportunity to your boss and you want to prospect them, you can tell them, sir, you've been very supportive. And I would love to ask that you have a look at something that I have started and you advise me whether it can work. So you have started with complimenting them. Then now you can go to the next stuff. Yeah, actually, you can see the second one there. You've always been so supportive of me. Remember, these are warm market prospects, your friends. And this could be face-to-face or through a call. Okay? You're one of the most connected people I know. And I have always admired that about you. Now, the issue of talking of the opportunity now follows after that. But this opens that communication with this prospect for you. If it's a close friend, you could tell them, you're one of my closest friends and I cannot get into opportunities alone. Then you can go on to say, like, I would love to share with you an opportunity I've been invited to have a look at. But look at where you are starting, complimenting them. Look at this other one here. You have an amazing mind for business, and you can see things that other ordinary people don't usually see. So you are complimenting them. Now let's move on to some more compliments here. I love this one. So, some people, sometimes when you are dealing with someone who might not be so open-minded, you can attack them indirectly and say, some people are very close-minded. But for you, I love the way you are open-minded. Now, you are attacking them indirectly by complimenting them. Sometimes it works when you are using the opposite of what they are raised, but it's still a compliment. Someone who is usually very critical and skeptical, you can say, I need someone to find the horse in something I am starting. Or I need someone who can look at an opportunity I want to engage in a critical manner. So they will appreciate that you are considering them as critical people who have a reason. And we can go on and on and on. Now let's also look at how do you compliment people that you've met for the very first time, cold market. What I have in mind first is like in a hotel. We are always frequenting into hotels. How do you prospect people there? Let's say it's someone who has just served you. Honestly, there is no way you will serve me in a hotel and I fail to compliment you. It's not possible. So I'll tell you, wow, that was one of the best services I've received lately. Thank you so much. Okay. Or that was the sweetest, food I have taken this year. Compliment something. Oh, you are so swift. I really love the way you've served us so fast, Oh, you are so welcoming. Thank you. That's kind of you. Simple things. And if you are intentional, these things will flow automatically. Or, wow, you are so sharp and smart. What do you do for a living? You look like a CEO. As long as it's a honest compliment. Or, I'm so excited to have met you today. You've made my experience very fantastic. It was a pleasure meeting you. Okay. So the thing is, the compliment has to be sincere. Then now immediately you compliment, you want to make an invitation. Now this must not be very immediate. Remember, it might be you've met in the hotel but then now you are talking later at the evening, in the evening or something like that. So here you are inviting them. I have seen some people make the mistake of prospecting so much, they get so many contacts, but that is the end. They never invite these people. If you don't invite them in the first, say, 1 week, to talk of the longest, then by the time you're inviting them, they are no longer so much excited, and they might even have forgotten you. So you are starting to reintroduce yourself again. So you could use direct approach or indirect approach when you are inviting your prospects. Now, let's say, for example, you want to, you are talking to a warm market prospect that you had engaged with earlier, and you had identified a need that they have. For example, so many people will complain about their jobs, right? So you would use something like this. By the way, when you told me that you were so tired of your job, were you serious or you are just kidding around? When you told me you are looking for something else to do, were you serious or you were just kidding around? When you told me that you want something that can give you financial freedom, were you serious or you were just kidding? What you are doing is you are building on a challenge they had or a need. Let me use the word need, because you're in a business of solving problems, satisfying people's needs. So you are building on that need. So the assumption here is that you had interacted and you had gotten a need that they have. And for those perhaps who are so new, for you to identify the need of somebody, you need to use a formula we call FORM, form. You'll ask them questions. If you want to understand people and to connect them with them and know them, ask them questions using the method called form. F is family. You ask them about the family. As simple as, how is your family? And they'll start telling you about the way they are okay, except that their mom is having some arthritis, stressing them. Now you have already identified a need there to solve. Oh, no, we are doing well, but my husband lost his job. Now that's a need, financial need that you have seen there. Oh, we are doing well, but I've been given a transfer to a remote place. That's a need that you can solve right there. The dissatisfactions that they air out. But you asked only one question: how is your family? But then be a good listener. Don't ask questions, and as they are responding, you are busy thinking about the next question. No. Be very alert to listen to their response. Actually, you can even reiterate some of their responses so that they can see you are really following. Oh, so you've been given a transfer to such a place. Oh my. You are reiterating, you are echoing their wants. Then O for the form is occupation. It's about their job now. It's about what they are doing, where they are engaged. And then you'll be able to elicit some issues from that. R is recreation, what they love, their hobbies. They'll start telling you about traveling and so on and so forth. And finally, money-related issues. Today, people are talking of bad economy, financial crisis. So you are like sort of checking on how they are faring on in matters finances. So when you ask questions revolving around that, then the needs will come out so easily. And then now you can capitalize on those needs. And this is a classic example of that. So when they say, yes, I was serious, now you can go ahead and tell them, I think I have found a solution for that. I think I've found something we can do together and overcome that. Would you be available this day or that day, this time or that time. I hope you see it's flowing. We started with complimenting, we started with being in a hurry, and now you are building on their needs and you are checking on the availability on this day or the other day so that you can invite them to have a look at your opportunity. Very interesting. I found something you really need to see. I found something that I'm so convinced that will work for us. Those are the kind of ways of inviting. There are so many. And other questions would be like, I love this one here. Let me ask you something, my brother. Would you be open to diversifying your income? It is very difficult for anyone to say no. You are asking questions whose answers are almost yes, yes, almost 100% yes, yes. If they had told you they are looking for a job, you could go by this. Are you still looking for a job? I think I found something that can help us, a business that doesn't have much risks. Okay. So many of such questions that you can ask. I found an exciting business, and together, I think we could do something special. Two are better than one, you know. Now, the other thing is indirect, so that we can move on. Indirect script. This is where you are inviting somebody, but it's not like you are inviting them. It's not a direct one. Especially when you are not so like sure of whether you want to invite them. You know, at the beginning, you might be a little bit nervous. So this helps you a lot. Look at this for warm market. I have just started a new business and I am scared to death. Before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practiced on you? Or if that language is a bit not very welcoming, before I start engaging in the business, I would love that you have a look at it and advise me. Okay. Look at the second one here. I am thinking about getting started with a business. I can run from my home. Would you help me check it out and see if it's for real? Or I wouldn't want to make a mistake of getting into something that is not real. Would you please have a look at it and tell me what you think about it? So you see, when they are open now to look at it, not that you are inviting them to look at it for themselves, but for you. If it is something that will resonate with what they would love to also benefit, then they have already listened. I mean, and I'll tell you, oh yeah, I think that is something interesting. I would also want to have a look at it. Okay. So there are many direct approaches. That is for warm market. But for cold market, you may vary a little bit because for cold market, you may not want to really engage them so much. You may want to first build some relationship. Now let's look at super indirect. So there is direct, there is indirect, and there is super indirect. So super indirect, you are asking them whether they know of someone else. So it's not about you, it's not about them, it's about someone else. Look at this. By the way, this one now you are playing with their psychology. So the business isn't clearly, or the business I am in clearly isn't for you. But I wanted to ask, who do you know that is ambitious, money motivated, and would want to earn some more income? So you're asking about someone else. Lately, I met, just to put this into perspective, recently I met someone from another country, I think Namibia, here in Kenya. And I asked her, by the way, we are expanding our business in Namibia. Do you have some friends down there who are ambitious and entrepreneurial minded that I can engage and they be part of our team as we grow businesses down there? And she was like, why not? I can get you a couple of them. Now, you see, they will also want to know what kind of business. In most cases, they want to know what kind of business is it before I give you my people. What kind of business is it? Now, that way you can now tell them, let me invite you for a session. You listen to how it works first, and then you can be able to give me some people that you think are, would fit for that. Or let me send you a 4 minutes video that you can listen to, and then you tell me whether it's something we can engage in, something like that. But initially, you're showing them it's like for others. And that is the approach I use when I'm dealing with high-profile people, the honorables in the society. I will tell a governor, by the way, sir, there is an empowerment program that I have been running that I would suggest you have a look at and tell me whether we can use it to empower our masses in our county. And they are open to listen to that. I remember some years, quite a number of years back, I went to the parliament here in Nairobi and sat down with some honorables and shared the opportunity with them, not for them, but for the constituents back in their areas. And you know what? Surprisingly, they joined so that they can be able to help them. And others will even realize, oh, you also have some good products for my health. Why not? I think I need the opportunity even as I share with others down there. Okay. So this is a super indirect approach where you are talking of other people, but in essence, it is this person you are talking with that you are targeting. But the beauty of this approach is, in case they are not interested, they will still give you some other people who might be interested. So do you know anyone involved in a serious job search? Do you know anyone who is looking for a job? And there are so many people looking for jobs. Or do you know someone who would be open-minded to build their own business? Or you can start with sharing our script. We usually have our script as a superstars team, where we say, I am a part of a dynamic organization or team called Superstars Team, where we help individuals to start their own businesses so that they can enjoy financial freedom, time freedom, and live a better lifestyle generally. Do you know of some 3, 4, 5 sharp guys who would want to be part of the team? You started by mentioning the mission of the team, and then now you ask whether the person knows of some people. It works magic. But especially if you're not so comfortable to introduce this person to the business. So you're using that super indirect approach. All right. Very interesting there. Okay. So I don't want to go about that. Let's go to step 4. Step 4 is where you now introduce the opportunity. But again, you're not presenting. Remember, we are inviting them. So you'll perhaps have, like for us, we have 4 minutes video. It could be some written script that you want to give them to read. But the one I prefer most, and I ask all of our Superstars team to capitalize on, it is working wonders, is our 4 minutes video, which is in our YouTube channel. 4 minutes video explaining the mission of our Superstars team, showcasing some of the achievements that myself and Pieros we've been able to achieve. So on your behalf, we are like talking to this person. We call that third party. So you are going to offer a third party tool. So the question is usually like this. If I would give you or share with you a 4 minutes video explaining the business, would you be interested to look at it? Okay. You see, if you look at the last one here, if I gave you a link to an online presentation that explained everything, would you click on it and watch it? And the almost obvious answer that they will give you is, I wouldn't mind, I will watch it. So here you are just asking the question and waiting for the response. Remember, you are not at this point asking them to watch at a certain time. It's open at this step 4. But now once they've said yes, now you go to step 5, where you'll ask them by when. Because they already said yes. Now you are pushing them in a very smart way to continue saying yes. They already said the first yes, I will watch. And now you push them to a second yes. So you get time commitment. So when do you think you could watch the 4 minutes video when I share with you? They'll tell you, I can watch it tonight. So now they've already started committing, but they have not fully committed. So you want to push them again to another level. Look at the next step of pushing them. And this is where you confirm. You want them to confirm that time commitment. They said they will watch tonight. So you'll ask them, so if I called you tomorrow morning, you'll have watched it for sure? That is now the third time they are saying yes. Because they are the ones who told you they will watch tonight. There is no way they will tell you tomorrow morning, if you call them, they will not have watched. And you don't have to put pressure for step 5. If they tell you, I'll watch it on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. It's all right. So ask them. So if I called you on Monday morning, you'll have watched it for sure? So they will say yes. Now, once they have said yes for that second time, we can now go to step 7. So what's the best number and time for me to call you on Monday morning? Or on Monday? What's the best number and time? You see, we didn't even ask them for their contact. The way sometimes we are so much in a hurry, you've met someone, you've asked them for a contact. No, this is a bit slow, but sure. So they will give you the number that you should call them. Today I've realized that actually some numbers, some people will prefer to use some numbers for WhatsApp and the different numbers for a call, something like that. So once that is done, you jot down precisely what time to call them. So you get off the phone in a smart way, not unceremoniously. And you are using some such ones like, great, then we'll talk on Monday 9 a.m. as agreed. And you tell them bye-bye, thank you. Don't continue talking. Don't even start asking questions like, is there any question? Is there everything clear? Do you have any question you want to ask? No. Once you've gotten the final commitment, get off the phone. Otherwise, you'll start undoing what you've already done, the nice job you've done. So remember, you are in a hurry throughout. You don't have time to waste with them. So write down that commitment and date and time on your diary, clearly on your diary, so that that time you will call them precisely that time. Don't call later than you've agreed. And they will respect you. They will see that you are serious. And even when they join, they will build the business with that seriousness. Remember, you are working as a CEO. Don't be afraid. When you are doing all these things, you need to have confidence. And before I go to that, some of the things that we need to make sure that we have positioned ourselves very well in a minute or two, let me summarize that by, and I think we'll share this script in our WhatsApp walls. What do you do exactly? How do we summarize those steps? We said be in a hurry as you start engaging them. Then you compliment them, and then you invite them. Okay, by also asking them a question here. If I shared with you a 4-minute video, would you watch it? When do you think you would do that? When do you think you would watch it for sure? If I called you on this date and time, would you have watched it for sure? Then what's the best time and number for me to call you? So you write down there, date, time, and number. Very interesting. It's something that you want to practice, definitely. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. But let me conclude our today's discussions by saying this, that before you even start prospecting people, especially in physical prospecting, you want to, number one, make sure that you are excited. Don't go talking to people when you're not excited, not even on a phone call. If you called me and we are talking over the phone, I can tell whether you are excited or not, whether you have some energy or you are sick. Have you not talked with someone and they're asking you, by the way, are you sick? You sound unwell. It's because you're not talking with some, energy and some excitement. Let the excitement be contagious, even if it's over the phone. Then if it's physical, make sure you dress. They say dress to impress. And I think it works. You don't want to look like a suspect when you're talking to your prospect. Don't look like a suspect when you're talking to your prospect. Look like a CEO. Look like someone who is successful. People look at your outlook first before even they listen to what you have to tell them. And finally, create time. You need to create time to go out there, meet people. You need to create time to make the calls every single day. Man, this is a game of numbers. There is no way you would prospect 2 people every day and someone else is prospecting 10 and you end up being the same. No way. We love in this business doing some mathematics. Think of these 2 people. The first one is prospecting only 2. Let's say also leading to sponsoring 2. Then each of these 2 sponsors 2. So it's just multiplying by 2. That is 4. And if each of the 4 sponsors 2, then that is 8. Look at how it's growing. Then each of the 8 sponsors 2. It's growing like that. But if you only increased that number by 2, so it's someone sponsoring 4, then times 2, that is 8. Times 2, that is 16. So you see the numbers are growing very, very fast. So it's a game of numbers. And don't focus so much on will they join, will they not. Just do what you should, prospecting, talking to them. And we are lucky that in our team, we are also training you so much on how to use social media. You see what I have talked about today doesn't have anything to do with social media. So you can start imagining when you couple the physical interactions with the social media prospecting, you are unstoppable. So I want all of us in this call to engage a very high gear moving forward in massive prospecting. If you've been prospecting 2 people in a day, take it to 5 or 10. And it will surprise you how many people you'll be able to sponsor this month of October. Can we have some motto that this October, we can call it maybe Massive October? How is that? Massive October. So that even next year we'll be remembering that Massive October is when my business changed. Massive October. So that everything we are doing this October, we are doing massive. We are looking at the numbers. And we push ourselves, each of us, to do more than we've done, especially in prospecting and inviting. Be on the lookout where we have meetings, invite massively. But this will only be possible if we are prospecting massively. I'm wishing us the very best month. May we build empires by sponsoring so many people this month, and may our businesses grow to levels we've never even imagined. Thank you so much. God bless you, superstars. Let's be meeting in the beaches of the